Hello everyone, today we are diving into Microsoft Excel and learning how to use it effectively. Excel is a powerful tool mostly for analyzing and gaining insights from your data. However, with so many menus and buttons, it can feel overwhelming. What do they all do? Don't worry, we are going to break it all down so you can start uncovering the story behind your data. Before we begin, let's talk about how you can get Excel. There are two main ways. The first way is to head to your browser and then type in excel.new and then you press enter on your keyboard. After typing in excel.new in your browser, they will ask you to log in. Just log in with your Microsoft account and then start working on a brand new spreadsheet right away. The web version has most of the functionality of the desktop app, and new features often roll out here first. The second way is to install Excel on a desktop, but this requires a Microsoft 365 subscription. And if you want to know how to download and install the LTSC version of Microsoft Excel, you can watch this video. I've provided the link in the description. Now, when you launch Excel, you will land on a startup or a start page. In the top left corner, you can create a new blank workbook. And on the right side, you will find various templates. Take a look as one might suit your needs. Below, you can access your recent workbooks, making it easy to pick up where you left off. And at the top, there is a search bar to quickly locate specific files. Now, let's jump into a blank workbook and get started. At first glance, you will notice a grid filled with rectangles. These are called cells. The letters across the top represent columns, and then the numbers along the side represent rows. Now, the intersection of a column and a row forms a cell, such as A1. If I highlight this cell, it is the intersection of column B and then row 1. If I highlight this one as well, it's the intersection of column C and then row 3. And the name box in the top left corner displays the active cells reference. As you see, if I select this cell, it will display the active cells reference here. As you can see, I have highlighted cell D3. Now, to make things easier to see, you can zoom in and out. Use the zoom slider in the bottom right corner to zoom in and then zoom out. Either way, or alternatively, you can hold Ctrl on your keyboard and then scroll your mouse wheel up or down to zoom in and then zoom out. Let's start inputting some data. Click on cell A1 and type in sales. Move to the next cell by pressing tab or the right arrow key and type in date. Press enter to move down a row. Now, let's track car sales from January 2024 to December 2024. Type January 2024 in B2 and hit enter. Now, instead of manually typing each month, Excel detects patterns. Select the cell that you entered January 2024 and then move the mouse cursor to the right bottom corner. As you can see, once you move the mouse cursor to the right bottom corner, the symbol changes. Now, left click and drag the fill handle down to autofill the month. As you can see, that's very simple and easy. Now, let's go ahead and then input or enter the number of sales that was made in each month. In January 2024, 24,000 car sales was made. And as I already said, to move down a row, press enter on your keyboard. In February 2024, 15,000 sales of cars were made. And then March 2024, 13,000 car sales was made. Now go ahead and speed everything up to make the tutorial short. Now, the number of sales made in each month have been entered, but there is no clarity here. As we all know, numbers are easier to read with a thousand separator. Now, go ahead and then highlight the sales data. Click on the Home tab and then select the thousand separator. As you can see, after formatting the data, now there is clarity. The numbers are much more easier to read than before. It is much more easier to notice which one is bigger and then which one is smaller. But we don't sell fractions of cars, so to remove the decimals, make sure the Home tab is selected and then head to the increase decimal and then reduce or decrease decimal. So to remove the decimals or decrease the decimals, just click on this one to remove the decimal and then click once more to finally remove all the decimals. And then a shortcut tip, you can simply press Ctrl+1 on your keyboard to open the Format Cells dialog for advanced formatting options. You can set them according to your specifications so that you don't have to go through all these steps to remove decimals and so on. Now, I would like to add notes for each car sales. So I'll select my cell C1 and then type in notes and then press enter to move down. Now, For the 24,000 sales of cars in January 2024, I would like to add a note saying a company in Brazil ordered these cars. Now, as you can see, the text spills into adjacent columns. To fix this, double-click on the line in between two column letters to auto-fit the width. So between C and D, I'll just double-click in between them. And as you can see, the text no longer spills into adjacent columns. You can also select multiple columns and double-click any boundary to auto-fit all at once. Now, assuming I don't need certain data visible, for example, the notes data, I don't need it anymore. To get rid of it, I'll just right-click the column letter and then hide it. And then you can see the column letter for the notes is C. So I'll just right-click on it and then click on hide in a pop-up list. This doesn't delete the data completely. It just hides it. And to bring it back, highlight the surrounding columns, that is slightly in between column B and D. You just right-click and then choose on hide in the pop-up list. This will bring back your data. And now, let's say I would like to change the position of a column. I would like the date to come before the sales. To do this, I'll select the whole column of date. Whilst holding Shift on my keyboard, I will hover to the beginning of the column B and then left click and then drag to its new position or location. Now the date is on the left side of the sales values. Now, I would like to format my data into a table. That is, convert my data into a table, because tables makes data easier to read and analyze. To do this, just highlight your data. Now head to the toolbar and then click on Insert. Then you click on Table. You'll get a pop-up like this. Make sure you check the box for my table has headers and then you click on OK. Now you get a table form of your data. You can also use table styles or table design to change the styles. You can also add a total row to automatically sum up your sales. To do this, head to the table design column on the toolbar and then click on total row. Now we have the sum of sales from January to November. Now I just remembered we are to get the sum of total sales from January to December, but it seems we left out 1 month, which is December 2024. To add December 2024 sales, you have to insert new rows and columns. Do this by right-clicking a row number. So you head down to the total side and then right-click on the row 13 and then you click on Insert. Now we have a new row. You can either enter December or simply highlight the November 2024 and then hover the mouse to the top right bottom corner. You get to see the cursor sign will change. Left click and then drag. Now we have the December 2024 as well. Then go ahead and input in the sales made on December 2024. Now, I would like to make some key data points stand out by highlighting data with something called conditional formatting. To do this, just select the column for sales and then click on Home. Now, at your far right, click on Conditional Formatting. You get to see options like Highlight Sales Rules, Top, Bottom Rules, Data Bars, Color Scales, Icon Set. You can also define a new rule for your data, but I'll go with Color Scales. Choose a format where low values are red and high values are green. That's what I prefer at the moment. So I'll go ahead and then click on any of them. You get to see the month where the sales was high or the highest is September, which we had 70,000 sales of cars. And the month with the lowest sales is May 2024, which is 1,500 car sales. And also, you can make a quick analysis with the status bar. I would like to know the total number of car sales made from January to April. To do that, simply highlight sales. So I'll highlight from January 2024 to April 2024. And Excel's status bar automatically shows the sum of values, the average, and then the count of selected cells. Now, let's move on to formulas and functions for calculations. You can also make calculations using formulas and functions. For example, to know the total or to sum up number of sales from January 2024 to April 2024, I can simply highlight any empty cell and then type in the equal sign. Typing in this equal to sign prompts Excel you're about to type in a formula. After typing the equal sign, just move to any cell. As I already said, we are summing up number of sales from January 2024 to April 2024. So I'll just highlight cell B2. And as you can see, we have cell B2 here. And then I'll press or type plus. And then I'll move to the next. I'll select B3, cell B3. Now we have it here, and I'll press plus on my keyboard once more and then highlight for March, which is B4, and I'll add another plus and then highlight for April 2024, which is B5. Once you are done typing in this formula, press enter on your keyboard. Now we have 77,000 sales that was made from January 2024 to April 2024. Alternatively, you can use functions to make these calculations. And then the most popular function is the sum function. Instead of typing every cell, go on to highlight a different cell and then type in equal to sign, and then next enter sum, and then open a parenthesis. Once you are done doing this, go on to highlight the number of months you would like to know the total sales of. So I'll just move to my sales column and then highlight from January 2024 to April 2024. And now we have sum of open parenthesis B2 is to B5, which means from column B2 to column B5. Then we close the parenthesis. Then we hit enter on the keyboard. Now we have the total sales, which is 77,000. You can also explore more functions under the formulas tab. Now next, let's move on to sorting and filtering data. Throughout this tutorial, I'm sure you might have seen this small arrow sign pointing downwards. You might be asking what it is or what this function is. It's used for sorting and filtering data, and you can toggle this on and off too. To do that, just highlight the column for sales and then move on to data tab on the toolbar. We have filtering here, so you can click on it to turn it on and then turn it off, and then click on it once more to turn it on. Now, the use of this filter is to sort from smallest to largest and then sort largest to smallest. You can also sort by color as well. You can filter by color, number filters as well. You can also manually sort by checking and unchecking some options here. So assuming I would like to sort from the largest sales to the smallest sales, I'll just click on the drop down arrow and then select sort largest to smallest. And now there you have it. And then to return it back to normal, head to the date column and then click on the drop down and then select sort oldest to newest. And now it will return back to normal. And either way, to sort from January to, let's say, May 2024, you can click on the date and then click on the drop down and then check the box for select all to uncheck all the months. And then go ahead and then check the ones you prefer. Let's say from January to June. Then I'll click on OK. Now, there you have the sum of sales made from January 2024 to June 2024. To revert it back to normal, click on the drop down once more and then check the box for select all and then click on OK. Now, up to this point, we've been presenting our data in a tabular form. So I would like to create charts for better visualization. To do that, I can either select all my data and then click on insert in the toolbar and then head to the chart column. I can either go for recommended chart or manually choose my preferred chart, but I'll be going with the recommended chart. I'll just click on it. And now you get to see all the recommended charts here. You can go ahead and choose which one you prefer, but I will go with the line charts since this one helps for better visualization. After selecting my preferred chart from the recommended chart, I will click on OK. And now we have a chart of our data, which can easily be interpreted. If you want to make different customizations according to your preference, after you select the chart, then you head to the toolbar and then click on chart design. From here, you get to select different types of charts according to your preference, different types of styles also as well. You can change colors too. Now, let's conclude this video by mastering pivot tables, which is another interesting tool for analysis in Excel. You just have to head to the toolbar and then click on the insert and then click on pivot tables. Now choose or select new worksheet and then click on OK. This will open a new worksheet. To go back to your original worksheet, go right down and then click on sheet 1. Now we are back to our original worksheet and then click on sheet 2 to move on to the sheet containing the pivot tables. From here, you get to see we have pivot tables fields. And we get to see some familiar items here, which is the date and sales, representing the columns in our worksheet 1. To make analysis with the pivot tables, let's begin with the sales. We only sum up with values. So for the sales, left click and then drag and then place them into the values down below. And now we have the total number of sales as 187,803. When we head to worksheet 1, we get to see the total number of sales made from January to December is 187,803. Now let's move on to the worksheet 2. And also, I would like to make some filters with the date. Just left click and then drag the date into the filters column. We get to see something we saw in our worksheet 1, which is the arrow pointing downwards. To make analysis with these two, just click on the drop down arrow and then select January 2024 and then click on OK. We get to see the sum of sales in January 2024 is 24,000. And if we head back to our sheet 1, we get to see the reference here. Now, I would like to know the sum of sales in multiple months. To do that, click on the drop down arrow and then select multiple items, and I'll select from January to March. And I'll click on OK. We have a sum of sales from January to March being 52,000. Another interesting thing you can also do is to right click on the sum of sales for multiple months and then summarize values by different forms. You can summarize the values by count, average, max, minimum, product, and then more options. So I would like to see or know the total average for multiple months. I'll go ahead and then click on average. Now we have an average of 17,303. You can also drag dates into rows for month-wise sales. So I'll do that by removing the dates and then the average sales, and I'll drag the dates into rows column, and we get to see a presentation like our original worksheet. And then for the sales, I'll drag them into values to see the total sales. Now we have one similar to our worksheet one. From here, you can right click on any of the sum of sales, and then in a pop-up list, choose show values as. You get to see a list here: percentage of grand total, percentage of column total, percentage of row total, and then etc. So I would want to know the percentage of grand total. I'll just click percentage of grand total. Now we have the sum of sales in percentage. In January, the percentage of sales paid was 12.78%, with the highest being September, which is 37.27%. Once you are done with everything and you would want to share with others, you can simply head to the top right corner and then click on share, and then choose share from the drop list. And you are to sign in into your office before you are able to share it with others. And make sure to save your file to OneDrive. After doing all that, you'll be able to share the files with others. That's the end of this tutorial. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to click on the like button, subscribe, and then turn on the bell notification for more videos. See you in the next one.